Joining me now to discuss this new level of severity in Japan's nuclear crisis is Arjun Makhijani. He's president of the Institute for Energy and Environmental Research, and he joins us from our bureau in San Francisco. Dr. Makhijani, welcome to Bloomberg's Bottom Line. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sir, your group prides itself on making scientific and technical information on the energy and environment understandable. Help us to understand what's going on in Japan right now.
Well, it has been clear from nearly the beginning, at least 2 or 3 weeks, that this was not a level 5 accident. And the Japanese safety agency has been kind of living in a fantasy world by classifying each element, each reactor, each spent fuel pool that's leaking and emitting radioactivity separately. And now what they've done is admitted that all of these things are emitting radioactivity simultaneously, and that radioactivity releases have been huge.
Right.
And this is more comparable to Chernobyl than 3 Mile Island.
Well,
but this was evident weeks ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is not necessarily evidence that things have been worsening in the last couple of days, but initially when this first happened, that's when the large amounts of radiation were released. Is that correct?
Yes, I actually said in print, in a press release 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that saying this was a level 5 was a fantasy. And you know, this isn't just a numerological problem. This is how seriously you're taking the whole deposition of radioactivity, what measures are you taking for evacuation, how you're informing the rest of the world. We've had rainfall with iodine above the drinking water limits in the United States. Now, we're not drinking rainfall, so it's not a panic situation. It's pretty low doses so far as we can tell.
Right.
But there has been global fallout like Chernobyl. The situation at 3 Mile Island was completely different. And the level 7, this type of reactor in an industrialized country tells us that all countries having this type of reactor, including Japan and the United States and Europe, need to wake up.
Sir, the Tokyo Electric Power, TEPCO, they were saying initially that they did not know how bad the situation was. Is that a credible explanation in your opinion?
I do not believe that it is a credible explanation. When you have had hydrogen explosions on the first few days of the accident and multiple ones, this means you're in the process of a meltdown. This means your fuel rods are reacting with the steam. This means you've lost cooling. So it's not at all credible that suddenly, you know, on April 12th, it's become a level 7 because we have new information. Well, we knew about the hydrogen explosions because the buildings tops blew off.
Right. Well, Dr. Makhijani, if I might then, what reason could there possibly be for the authorities there not to say how serious this was, and secondarily, not to notify people in the immediate area of how severe the situation was?
Well, in a way, they notified people by evacuating tens of thousands of people in the middle of, you know, a more giant catastrophe with the earthquake and the tsunami. So, you know, it wasn't like it was a secret. The keeping it at level 5 was a kind of a palliative, you know, everybody should stay calm while keeping the information close to the chest. Well, you know, if you keep the information close to the chest, people don't stay calm. People will stay calm if you're more transparent. And we have similar problems, you know, going on in this country by playing information too close to the chest best and saying everybody should stay calm, don't worry, and not doing adequate monitoring and not doing not suspending reactor and spent fuel pool
so are you
licensing and so on.
Are you saying that you believe that the U.S. has been underplaying the danger?
Yes, I think that we've announced a review of U.S. nuclear power situation, but it's not really a serious review if you're relicensing reactors that are exactly of the same design as Fukushima and the same age as Unit 1 for 20 years with a full spent fuel pool in the middle of this crisis. That has happened already. The NRC relicensed Vermont Yankee for 20 years, and Vermont Yankee has more spent fuel in one pool than all 4 spent fuel pools at Fukushima combined. Now, I don't think that's very serious.
Dr. Makhijani, in our last minute, talk to me about the U.S. government and what you believe their standards are regards radiation exposure. Are those standards stringent enough?
Well, I think the routine standards are pretty stringent. I think they're quite good. It has been an issue of how well they're being enforced and what is required to be reported of the companies. So, for example, we have routine emissions of tritium coming out of the stacks, radioactive water, but we don't require monitoring of rainfall. And I think we should require monitoring of rainfall. And I think that our emergency standards for food, which are set by the Food and Drug Administration, need to be looked at. I think we might find that they are on the lax side.
Dr. Arjun Makhijani, he is with the Institute for Energy and Environmental Research. Sir, thank you for your perspective. We appreciate it.